wave optics. So before learning about wave optics, here in this topic we are going to learn about three different properties of light, that is interference, diffraction, polarization. But before learning about these three different properties of light based on the wave nature of light, first of all we will learn some basic concepts that are required to learn about these properties, that is a simple harmonic motion. If a particle executing simple harmonic motion, it should satisfy three conditions here. The first one, the motion of that particle should be periodic plus to and fro motion. Second one, acceleration should be directly proportional to mean position but opposite to it. And the third one, acceleration always acts towards mean position. Now, based on these three, here we will discuss about the simple harmonic motion in three different parts here. Let us say for a particle executing simple harmonic motion, the x displacement is given as a sine omega t plus phi. Now, how to get the velocity here? Velocity is equal to dx by dt, that is a sine omega t plus phi will become cos omega t plus phi, and from sine rule this will become omega a cos omega t plus phi. Similarly, acceleration is given by derivative of velocity with respect to time. So this is omega a cos omega t plus phi will become sine omega t plus phi into omega. So acceleration is given by minus omega square, because omega into omega, this minus omega square, a sine omega t plus phi. So from this you can write a is equal to minus omega square y. So from this we can write here, as we are writing dx here, so let me write this as x only. So this is a is equal to minus x, a directly proportional to minus x. So that is the condition for simple harmonic motion. Suppose if y or x or anything is given as a cos omega t plus phi, and velocity here is dy by dt, this is dx by dt, as the displacement is given as x, here displacement as y here, this is a sine function, this is a cos function, this will become a minus sine omega t plus phi into omega. So velocity is equal to minus omega a sine omega t plus phi. And now acceleration is given by dv by dt, that is minus omega square a, this sine will become cos omega t plus phi, and this is nothing but y here. So a is equal to minus omega square y. In both cases, acceleration is equal to minus omega square x, or in that case a is equal to minus omega square y. Now in the third case, let us say this is circular path and a particle executing simple arc motion from here to here. So let us say it moved from P to P dash in a small interval of time, and angle described by the rays vector is theta here. So we can write theta is the angular velocity into time. Now we can write what is the displacement of the foot of the perpendicular. So this is the particle, and its foot of perpendicular along y axis is let us say this is y. So displacement traveled by the foot of perpendicular is y. Similarly, its foot of perpendicular along x axis is this one, from here to here. So this is x. But here I am going to take this as x only. Why? Because foot of perpendicular, let us say particle from moving to here, then this will be x. Now in this case I can write Sin theta is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. So this is y by r, or y is equal to r sin theta, or y is equal to r sin omega t. Similarly, what is cos theta? This cos theta is equal to x by r. So x is equal to r cos omega t. So you can find either y or x depending on the motion. Here, if the motion is starting from this point to this point, moving in anti-clockwise direction, we have to use this formula to find the displacement of the simple harmonic oscillator here. If the particle is starting from this point and moving in clockwise direction here, or anti-clockwise direction from here to here, then you have to use this formula because it is decreasing function. From here to here, y is increasing. From here to here, y will decrease here. So these are the two equations. For a simple harmonic motion, the equation of the particle is given by y is equal to a sin omega t. So when t is equal to 0, sin 0, 0, y will be 0. When t is equal to pi by 2 omega cancel sin pi by 2, 90, this y is equal to a. So this is the sinusoidal variation of the displacement here. This is the maximum displacement, we call it as a here, amplitude of this one. But for a wave, the wave equation is given by here. Each and every particle will execute simple harmonic motion here. So the wave equation is given by a sin omega t minus x by v. So from this we can write y is equal to y a sin omega t minus omega x by v. So this y is equal to a sin omega t minus kx. Here what is this k? K is called propagation constant or wave constant. So wave constant or propagation constant is given by k is equal to omega by v. What is omega? Omega is equal to 2 pi f. 2 pi f. V is equal to f lambda. Ff cancel. This is 2 pi by lambda. So this is a wave constant or propagation constant. Now from this we can write, this can also be written as y is equal to a sin 2 pi f, this is omega, can be written as 2 pi f into t, minus k is equal to 2 pi by lambda into x. So y can be written as a of sin 2 pi constant ft minus x by lambda. These are the different equations for a wave. Whenever a wave moves in a given medium with a constant velocity, its shape never changes. So please note down this one. When a wave travels in a given medium with a constant speed, its shape never changes. So whenever the speed changes, then shape of the wave also changes. So in this equation, you can see this one, y is equal to a sin omega t minus kx. But in some problems, we can see this one as y is equal to a sin omega t minus kx, or y is equal to a sin omega t plus kx. When it is given as omega t minus kx, so this wave is said to be moving along positive x direction, along positive x-axis. But this one along negative x-axis. Now, this is called phase here. So phase is given by omega t plus or minus kx. So let me take omega t minus kx. Differentiate this one with respect to time, you will get d phi by dt is equal omega dt by dt minus k dx by dt. So from this, when the shape is not changing, velocity is or speed of the wave is constant. So then the phase will become 0. Rate of change in phase will become 0. So this will be given as omega minus k into this dx by dt is nothing but velocity. So kv is equal to omega, v is equal to omega by k. But what is omega? Omega can be written as 2 pi f. K is equal to 2 pi by lambda. 2 pi get cancelled. So from this we can write V is equal to f lambda. This is the equation for the velocity of a wave with frequency f and wavelength lambda. Interference. What is this interference? The redistribution of energy due to superposition of two or more coherent waves. So what are these coherent waves? So waves are said to be coherent if the phase difference, that is delta phi, remains constant at all times or independent of time. Remains constant or it is independent of time, then they are said to be coherent waves. The light waves that are coming from two different light sources, maybe bulb and two bulbs or two candles or two these laser beam. Suppose if you take laser beam is coherent and as well as monochromatic, but other sources may produce waves of different color, different wavelengths, different frequencies. For this to happen, for two waves to be coherent, phase difference is independent of time. It is possible only if the frequency is same. If two waves are having same frequency, automatically they will have same wavelength. Why? Because c is equal to mu lambda. This is the speed of light which is constant 3 in 10 power 8. If the frequency is same, then their wavelength is also same. Either frequency or wavelength is same, then the waves may be coherent here. Now, in interference, if you consider two waves, the first wave y1 is equal to a sine omega t minus k x1, and the second one y2 is equal to a sine omega t minus k x2. So in this case, you can observe this, omega is 2 pi f. So omega t. So 2 pi f and f are same. So frequency is same. So these two may be coherent waves. Now, what is the phase difference between these two? This is the initial phase phi 1. This is the phase of the second wave phi 2. So what is the phase difference between these two? So phi 2 minus phi 1 is given by omega 2 minus kx2 minus omega t minus kx1. Omega cancel. So phi 2 minus phi 1 is equal k into x1 minus x2. So this is the difference in phase. We denote with the delta phi, which is equal to k into this is delta x, where k is equal to 2 pi by lambda, that is the wave or propagation constant. So phase difference is equal 2 pi by lambda into path difference. So phase difference is a function of path difference here. Here 2 is a constant, pi is a constant. Phase difference is equal to constant or irrespective of the time only if lambda is constant. If lambda is constant, frequency is constant. So these are the conditions here for the waves to be coherent waves. If you take two waves, the first one is y1 is equal a1 sine omega t minus kx, y2 is equal to a2 sine omega t minus kx plus phi, where phi is the phase difference between these two waves. So I am going to take only the amplitudes here. This is a1 and let us say this is a2 having a phase difference of phi here. The resultant amplitude of these two waves, when these two superimpose with each other, we will get a wave of a resultant amplitude A. So how to find the resultant amplitude of the wave on superposition of these two waves? So that is given by the resultant amplitude. First of all, A is given by, as it is a parallelogram, so I am going to use the parallelogram of vector addition, A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2 cos phi. So this is the resultant amplitude. So what is the angle made by the resultant with one of the vector here, theta? So we have tan theta, or let me take this as alpha. Tan alpha is equal to, we have this equation q sin theta by p plus q cos theta. Here second vector is a2 sin phi by a1 plus a2 cos phi. So this is how you can find this alpha as well as amplitude of this wave equation. So now you can write, if a1 is equal to a2 here, so we can write the resultant amplitude is given by A is equal to, this can be written as A square plus A square. This is also equal to A. So this is the magnitude of A, or resultant amplitude. A resultant, let me write A resultant is given by 2AA cos phi. So which is equal to 2A square. This is also 2A square. 2A square 1 plus cos phi is the equation. So which is also equal to 2A square. What is this 1 plus cos phi? We have this equation, cos 2 theta is equal to 1 minus 2 sin square theta. Similarly, this can also be written as 2 cos square theta minus 1 is also equal to cos 2 theta. This is in the form of 1 plus cos theta. So this you can write cos theta can be written as 2 cos square theta by 2 minus 1. So cos phi, you can write this as, if you bring this one minus 1 this side, 1 plus cos theta or cos phi is equal to 2 cos square phi by 2. So in place of this I am going to write 2 cos square phi by 2. So 2 2s are 4, under root will be 2 only. So this is 2, A square under root is A. This is cos phi by 2. This is the resultant amplitude of two waves having same amplitude. But generally we need to use this formula for different amplitudes. For A1 is equal to A2, the final resultant amplitude will become 2A cos phi by 2. But what is the relation between intensity and the amplitude of a wave? The intensity of a wave is given by, intensity is nothing but total energy traveled by total time taken into unit area, that is total energy that is passing through a unit area in unit time. So this is called intensity. So intensity I is equal, what is the total energy of a wave? That is sum of the kinetic energy and potential energy of a wave, which is given by half m omega square A square by time t, and this area I am going to write A only, but half into mass can be written as density into volume. So density into volume is nothing but A into L into omega square A square by T into A. This A get cancelled here. So this will become half rho A square omega square. This velocity, distance by time is equal to velocity. So intensity of a wave is given by half omega square A square rho V. So this is the equation. But omega can be written as 2 pi f. So intensity of a wave can also be written as half into 2 pi f whole square into rho v into A square here. 2 pi f, here I am going to write A square rho v. So I is equal to, this is 4 pi f square. So 4 pi square f square, 2 get cancelled. So it will become 2 pi square f square A square rho v. This is the intensity of a wave. You can say 2 is a constant, pi square is equal to nearly 10 constant. For a wave which is traveling in a single medium, frequency never changes, and the density through which the wave is traveling, this is the density of the medium, and when the medium is not changing, velocity never changes. So these are all the constant. So intensity only depends on amplitude. So we can write I is equal to some k into A square, where k is called 2 pi square f square rho v. So intensity directly proportional to square of the amplitude. After getting this value, now we can find out the resultant intensity of two waves that are superimposing here. So I am going to convert all these amplitudes into intensities. So here, squaring on both sides, I am going to get a square is equal a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos phi. A square is equal to ka square, which is equal to ka1 square plus ka2 square plus 2k. This a1 a2 can be written as I is equal to ka square. This will become I by k, or 2 into root ka1 root ka2 cos phi. So now you can cancel k. Here also root k will cancel. So a square will become a1 square plus a2 square. Otherwise I can write this ka square is nothing but the resultant intensity, which is equal to intensity of the first wave I1 plus intensity of second wave I2 to this root k1 is nothing but root I1 root I2 cos phi. So this is the equation to find out intensity of two waves that are superimposed with each other at a phase angle phi here. So here from this I can write when the intensity of waves is maximum and when does the intensity of wave is minimum. So here it is clear that if phi is equal to 0, that means if two waves are not having any phase difference, then cos 0 will become 1. So this I resultant is given by I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2, and when phase difference is equal to 90, so this will become cos 90 0. So I is equal to resultant is equal I1 plus I2 only, and if it is 180, phi is equal to 180, cos 180 is minus 1, this will become I resultant is equal I1 plus I2 minus 2 root I1 I2. Now, so from this amplitude square is equal to intensity, or resultant intensity is given by I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2 cos phi. And from this we can write this is nothing but root I1 whole square root I2 whole square plus 2 root I1. So now from this equation, what is the maximum intensity? I max is given by root I1 plus root I2 whole square. So if you expand this one, you will get I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2 when phi is equal to 0. Similarly, when this intensity is minimum, so this is maximum if phi is equal to 0, minimum if phi is equal to 180. So I min is given by root I1 minus root I2 whole square. This is the minimum intensity when phase angle is 180. This is the maximum intensity when there is no phase difference between the two waves that are superimposing with each other. If you take two waves, first let me take one wave here. So this is the wave number 1. This is wave number 1 and this is wave number 2. This is wave number 2 here. So this amplitude of the first wave is A1, amplitude of the second wave is A2 here. So when these two superimpose with each other, we may have constructive or destructive interference. So either constructive or destructive interference takes place. When the crest of one wave combines with the crest of another wave, generally constructive interference takes place. Then automatically trough combines with the trough here. So this is the condition here. Similarly, if you take another case here, this is wave 1, this is wave 2. In the first wave, the wave is given like this. Second one, the wave is given like this. So this is A1 here, this is A2 here. You can see here the crest of the first wave, this is wave 1. combining with the trough of second wave here. So when these two combine like this, either the trough of first wave combine with crest of second wave, then destructive interference will take place. So this is called, we call it as destructive interference, and this is a constructive interference. So in these cases, destructive or constructive interference, first I am going to write, for the constructive interference takes place, the condition is the phase difference must be equal to 0. So there should not be any phase difference between these two, or the cos value, cos phi value must be equal to 1 here, not only 0. If cos phi is equal to 1, then constructive interference may takes place between these two. Why? Because already we studied that the intensity, resultant intensity is given by I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2 cos phi. This resultant intensity depends upon cos phi here. If this is equal to 1, intensity is maximum. So for the constructive interference to take place, cos phi must be equal to 1. So when it is possible, so let me write this as cos phi can be cos 0 degrees, cos 0 is equal to 1, or this can also be written as cos 2 pi radians, cos 4 pi radians, cos 6 pi radians, and so on, cos 2n pi radians, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So now we can write this phi as 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, and so on, 2n pi. So these are the possibilities here. So where here you can write here n as 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Now what about the same condition in case of a destructive interference? In case of a destructive interference, we know that the intensity formula is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1. If it is minus, cos phi must be equal to minus 1 here. So now I am going to write here cos phi is equal to minus 1. Then destructive interference takes place. So in this case, what are the possibilities? Cos phi can be, this should be cos pi radians, cos 3 pi, cos 5 pi, and so on, cos of 2n minus 1 into pi here, where n is equal to 0 is not possible, n is equal to 1, 2 minus 1, 1. So this is 2. So here n value cannot be 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on here. If you consider this value cos phi, so what are the phi value here? Phi value should be pi, 3 pi, and so on, 2n minus 1 into pi. The relation between phase difference and path difference is given by, we know this equation, delta phi is equal 2 pi by lambda into delta x. If the phase difference is equal to 0 or 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, and 2n pi, then constructive interference will take place. So in place of delta phi, let me write this 2n pi. So 2n pi is equal 2 pi by lambda into delta x. 2 pi here get cancels here. So n is equal to delta x by lambda. So delta x is equal to n lambda, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So what must be the phase difference between the two waves so that have undergo constructive interference? That is the phase difference should be 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, and 2n pi. The path difference is delta x is equal to, n can be 0 also. So path difference must be 0 or 1 lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, and so on, n lambda. Similarly, in case of a destructive interference also, here we can write delta phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. But here delta phi, the phase difference is this much. So I am going to take the final condition 2n minus 1 into pi is equal 2 pi by lambda into delta x. So here you can cancel only lambda lambda. So delta x can be written as 2n minus 1 into this 2 by lambda will become lambda by 2. So these are the condition. So if the path difference between the two waves is equal to 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2. So that is, if you substitute n is equal to 1 here, because it will not start from 0, this will become 1 into lambda by 2. So lambda by 2, 3 lambda by 2, 5 lambda by 2 and so on. So what is the meaning of this lambda 2 lambda, 3 lambda, 4 lambda, or lambda by 2, 3 lambda by 2, 5 lambda by 2. So let me see here. Here the actual wave is starting from 0. So the sine wave is given by y is equal to a sine theta. But here this is a decreasing function. So this is a increasing function here. Here it is decreasing here. So you can write y is equal to minus sine theta, or a1, this is a2, because this is a1, this is a2. Because other terms are frequency, wavelength are same here. The wavelength is lambda for these two because they are coherent waves. But here the actual wave is not starting here. The actual wave is starting somewhere here. So what is the difference between the starting point of these two? In this diagram you can see this is exactly equal to lambda by 2. If two waves are traveling in such a way that if they have a constant phase difference of path difference of lambda by 2, or if this wave is starting like this somewhere between, now this is lambda plus lambda by 2, total 3 lambda by 2, then also these two will undergo destructive interference. So if the path difference is lambda by 2, 3 lambda by 2, 5 lambda by 2 and so on, then destructive interference will take place. But when the constructive interference will take place, possible only if the phase difference is 0, lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda. That means now in this diagram both are starting from the same point here, O and O. So no extra waves are either this side or that side here. So these two are having 0 phase here. That means in the same time interval they are traveling same distance with the same speed and the same velocity, same frequency. Now with the same wavelength also. Suppose if the wave is like this, what is the path difference between these two? This wave is traveling like this, but this wave already traveled a distance lambda here before reaching this point here, before reaching this point here. So what is the path difference here? This has traveled 1 lambda path more, so path difference may be lambda. So without this 0, with this lambda, or if 2 lambda like this, then constructive interference will take place. Let me take one equation of a wave y is equal to 20 sine omega t and y2 is equal to 20 sine omega t plus pi by 3. If these two waves superimpose with each other, it is clear that this is a1, this is a2. So a1 is equal to a2 is equal to 20. So what is the resultant amplitude, resultant intensity of this wave? So we can write the phase difference is pi by 3 here. So we can write the resultant amplitude as 20 square plus 20 square plus 2 into 20 into 20 cos pi by 3. This is cos 1 by 2. So this will become 1 by 2, it will get cancelled. This is 20 square plus 20 square plus 20 square. This is 320 square under root 3 into 20. So the amplitude of the resultant wave is root 20 root 3. But in the problem itself they will give whether it is in centimeter, millimeter or meter. So let me write as it is not given, the resultant amplitude is 20 root 3. Now what is the equation of this wave? When these two superimposes, we will get a resultant wave whose equation is equal to y is equal to a sine omega t plus phi here. So y is equal to resultant amplitude is 20 root 3 sine omega t as it is, because in both equations we have omega t that remains as it is. But what is the phase difference between these two? So here we can write the phase difference as the phi value, that is tan phi is equal a2 sine 30 by sine theta by a1 plus a2 cos theta. So this tan phi phase difference is equal, a2 is equal to 20, so this is 20 sine, this phase angle, this here theta difference is pi by 3 by 20 plus 20 cos phi by 3, this is cos pi by 3, so 20 into, that is sine 60 here root 3 by 2 by 20 into 1 plus cos 60 will be 1 by 2 here, this 20 get cancelled, this is root 3 by 2 by this is 3 by 2, so this is 1 by root 3, this is equal to tan phi. Tan phi is equal to 1 by root 3, or phi means 30 degrees or pi by 6 radians. So phi is equal to 60 degrees or pi by 30 degrees or pi by 6 radians. That's why I'm writing this as equation of the resultant wave when these two superimpose each other. But in some cases, amplitude may not be same. If the amplitude is different, so let me take y1 is equal to 10 sine omega t, y2 is equal to 20 sine omega t plus pi by 3. So what is the resultant amplitude here? This will become 10 square plus 20 square plus 2 into 10 into 20 into, this is cos pi by 3. So this you can have to multiply this as 100, this is 400, 22s are 40, this is also 400, cos 60 1 by 2, this will become 200, 4, 5, 6, 7, so this is root 700 units. So this is the resultant amplitude here. So after that we need to find out the phase angle here. The phase angle phi is equal tan inverse of the second value, that is 20 sine this pi by 3 60 by 10 plus 20 cos 60 here. So this can be written as tan inverse of 20 into root 3 by 2, that is 10 root 3 by, this is 10 plus 20 cos 61 by 2 30. So you can take this as a 3. So this is root 3 by root 3 means 1 by root 3. So 5 once again pi by 6 only, or 30 degrees. So the resultant wave now will be root 700 sine omega t plus pi by 6. If I1 is equal to I0, I2 also I0, so what is the intensity of the resultant wave when the path difference is lambda by 2, lambda by 4 and as well as 0 here. So these are the path differences given here. So we need to find out the resultant intensity IR here. So what is the resultant intensity? So first let me find out the resultant intensity by using this formula. By using this formula, first of all we need to find out the phase difference here, but these are the path differences. So what is the different relation between phase difference and path difference, which is given by 2 pi by lambda into delta x. So in the first case, the phase difference is 2 pi by lambda into, this is lambda by 2, 2 this cancel, this is 5. In the second case, this is 2 pi by lambda into lambda by 4, this is pi by 2. In the third case, the phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into 0. So the phase difference is also equal to 0 here. So first, in the first case, I resultant is given by I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2 cos phi here. So this is the expression that we are going to use here. So the I resultant is given by, in the first case, so let me take it as 1 here. So phase difference is equal to pi only. So I am going to write, this is I0, this is also I0, 2 root I0 into cos phi here. So because in the first point here the phase difference is pi. So this will be I0 plus I0, 2 I0, this is 2 I0, this is 2 I0 cos phi is equal to minus 1. So these two will be equal and opposite 0. So the resultant intensity in the first case is 0 when the path difference is pi by 2. Now if the path difference is lambda by 2, if it is lambda by 4, so the I resultant in the second case is given by I naught plus 2 root I naught cos pi by 2. This cos pi by 2 is 0. This term will become 0. So the resultant intensity will be 2 times the intensity of any one of the wave. In the third case, I resultant in the third case is given by I naught plus 2 root I naught, and in the third case phase difference is 0. So cos 0 is equal to 1 here. So this is I naught plus I naught, 2 I naught. This is also 2 I naught. The total answer is 4 I naught. For the same problem, let us say I1 is equal to I naught, I2 is equal to 4 I naught. What is the resultant intensity for these three path differences? So already I found the phase differences here. So I in the first resultant intensity in the first case is given by I naught plus 4 I naught, 2 root I naught root 4 I naught. This is cos phi, which is equal to minus 1. So these two will become 5 I naught. This will become 2 4 I naught into minus 1. So 5 I naught minus 4 I naught will be I naught here. Now in the second case, IR in the second case is equal to I naught plus 4 I naught plus 2 root I naught root 4 I naught. This is cos 90. So this is cos 90 or pi by 2. This term will become 0. Answer will be 5 I naught. Now what about the third case here? The resultant intensity in the third case is given by I naught plus 4 I naught plus 2 root I naught root 4 I naught. The phase difference is cos 0, which is equal to 1 here. So this is 5 I naught already. This is 2 2s are 4 I naught. Total 9 I naught here. Amplitude ratio is given as A1 by A2 is equal to 3 by 2. So then find A max by A min as well as I max by I min in this case. So now in this case what I am going to find? I am going to find out A max by A min, I max by I min, and sometimes they may ask to find out I1 by I2 here. Now what is A max by A min? So first let me find out this one. Amplitude is maximum if it is 1 here, so phi must be 0 here. So this value, so amplitude not only depends on A1 A2, this depends on this phi value here. So for maximum value phi must be 0 or cos phi must be equal to 1. So A max by A min is given by root over A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2, because cos phi will become 1, and A minimum is given by A1 square plus A2 square. This value must be equal to minus 1 because least value of cos function is minus 1. So this is 2A1 A2 minus 1 can be written as minus 2A1 A2. So this is given by root over whole root of A1 square, that is 3 square 2 square 2 into 3 into 2 by this is 3 square plus 2 square minus 2 into 3 into 2. So you can see this as 9 plus 4 13. This is 2 2s are 4 plus 3 12 here. Root 13 plus 12 by this is 13 minus 12. So this will be root 25 by 1 or 5 by 1. So this is the ratio of A max to A minimum, maximum amplitude by minimum amplitude. What is the ratio of I max by I min? We know that intensity directly proportional to square of the amplitude. So I can write this as I max by I min is also equal to A max square by A minimum square. What is A max by A minimum? 5 by 1. So this can be written as 5 by 1 whole square, which is equal to 25 by 1. In the third case, if ratio of amplitude of two waves is 3:2, what is the ratio of their intensities? From the same formula here, this is I down to A square. So third one, I1 by I2 is equal A1 by A2 whole square, which is equal to 3 by 2 whole square or 9 by 4. Be careful while solving these problems. It's a very simple problem. Some students, what they are finding, they are not finding the difference between Imax and Imin and I1 by I2. For both questions, they are giving the same expression or same answer here. So be careful while finding Imax by Imin and I1 by I2. This is the intensity of first wave, intensity of second wave. This is total maximum intensity of two waves after superposition to the total minimum intensity of the two waves after superposition.